In the previous lecture, we understood how to connect two different local area networks using router theoretically. And now we will see how to connect two different local area networks practically in using CPT. Router is a device that connects two or more different local area networks. And it is a layer 3 device that operates in network layer. And it has memory, it stores routing table in its memory. And router are inevitable device in the internet. Because internet is a collection of enormous network, where every network is going to use different IP schemes. Internet is a collection of different networks. We are going to establish inter-LAN communication. To do this, we will now open the CPT or Cisco Packet Tracer. In the workspace, firstly, we will create two local area networks. So for that, I am bringing the Cisco switch. I will bring two switches. So let me create two local area network number 1 on this side, and let me create local area network number 2 on this side. These two switches are used for creating local area network. And let us have only 3 PC. And let's just add another 3 PCs here. And we need cables, Ethernet straight through cable in order to connect the devices. So I'm using Ethernet straight through cable to connect the devices or the devices to the switch. Similarly, the same cable is used to connect the PCs to the switch. I have completed connecting the cables between the switch and the PCs. So we will now assign IP address to all the individual PCs. We will just establish a local area network. So now on these PCs, let us use the IP address scheme as 10.0.0.1. And the IP address of this PC will be 10.0.0.2. And let the IP address of this PC will be 10.0.0.3. Likewise, we have to assign IP address to this local area network also. So here for this local area network, I'm preferring 192.168.1.1. And for this PC, this is 192.168.1.2. And for the last PC, it is obviously going to be 192.168.1.3. So far, we have established a local area network. And we will check whether local area network works fine or not. So from PC1, let me ping the PC3. So let me click this PC, go to the command prompt. From this PC, let me ping 10.0.0.3. We are able to get reply. It means this computer are reachable. Similarly from PC2, whether communication is there with the PC. So this is ping 10.0.0.2. As you can see, we are able to get reply. So this local area network is working fine. We will ensure that whether this local area network is also working fine. Go to first PC, which is having the IP address 192.168.1.1. We know ipconfig is the command that is used to see the IP configuration. So we will check ping 192.168.1.2. Yeah, we are getting reply. Similarly, ping 192.168.1.3. This local area network is also working fine because we are able to get reply. So we have now established local area network 1 and number 2. Now let me give a label like this, LAN 1, and this is using IP scheme 10.0.0.0 with the subnet mask 255.0.0.0 throughout this network. And the second local area network, LAN 2, and this is using the IP scheme 192.168.1.0 with 255.255.255.0. So it means if this computer wants to send some data packet to this computer, it needs a router to do this communication. And now we will bring a router into our scenario. So let's go to the router and let me choose 911 router. So we need some interface in this router so as to connect. One interface to LAN 1 and another interface to LAN 2. Let's go and see the physical view of this router. Click on the router. Here, the router has some interface. We have a switch here. So as you can see, the router is turned on now. We will just go to config tab. We can see 3 interfaces are in the router. Gigabit Ethernet 00, Gigabit Ethernet 01, and Gigabit Ethernet 02. We need only two interfaces in order to connect these two local area networks. So let the third interface be unused. So, what cable is used in order to connect this switch to this router? This is a layer 2 device and this is a layer 3 device. That is, switch is a layer 2 device and router is a layer 3 device. So, they are different devices. So, obviously, we need Ethernet straight through cable in order to connect. So, very important configuration, please have a look meticulously over this. Click on the switch and we have Gigabit Ethernet 01 port available in the switch. Let me use this Gigabit Ethernet 01. Similarly, click on the router, we have three interface or ports. Let me plug it into Gigabit Ethernet 00. We have to use the same type of cable. So, from this switch, let me use Gigabit Ethernet 01 port and plug the cable to the interface Gigabit Ethernet 01. Let me put a label for better illustration. So this side it is using Gigabit 00. The name of the interface is Gigabit Ethernet 00. And this side it is Gigabit Ethernet 01. By default, the ports in the routers are turned off. As you can see, it is still red color. We will assign the IP address of this interface. It is 10.0.0.4. And into the second interface, let it be 192.168.1.4. And we are required to assign an IP address to this interface. This PC is having 10.0.0.1. Similarly, on the second PC, it would be .2, on the third PC, .3. And this PC is having the IP address 192.168.1.1. And this PC having 192.168.1.2. And the last PC is having the IP address 192.168.1.3. Just click the router to assign the IP address. Click the config and go to the Gigabit Ethernet 00 configuration part. Click on this and we will assign the IP address as 10.0.0.4. Similarly, we have to assign 192.168.1.4 to this interface. And let us turn on the port. As you can see now, the port is turned on. So just give some time for the routers and switches to turn on. Now, the entire setup is ready. The LAN 1 is different local area network. And another LAN 2 is having different local area network. So far, we have completed the configuration. Let be the PC2 as the source computer and PC4 the destination computer. We will try pinging from 10.0.0.2 to 192.168.1.1. It means let this be the destination computer and let this be the source computer. From this computer, go to the command prompt. And we will issue the command ping 192.168.1.1. You can observe that we are not getting replies. Did we miss something? Yes, we failed to do one configuration. We will try to ping the second computer. Ping 192.168.1.2. And for this ping request also, we won't get replies. Why? Because we miss one thing in the configuration. And if you observe, the packets are not reaching the destination. And we will troubleshoot this problem. The problem is the interface. The IP address of this interface is 10.0.0.4. And this is the default gateway for all the PCs. So just click on the PC, every individual PC, and say the default gateway is 10.0.0.4. And similarly copy this and paste it in all the PCs. And the default gateway for this PC should be 192.168.1.4. Click on this PC, go to IP configuration. It is 192.168.1.4. Copy and paste this in the default gateway of all the other PCs. Now we are done in the configuration part. From PC1, we will ping in the PC4. Click the PC and go to the command prompt, ping 192.168.1.1. It means pinging the first computer. Sometimes the first packet will get failed, but obviously we'll get reply for the second packet because we have done the first configuration. And at the same time, we will ping the second PC also. Ping 192.168.1.2. We could notice that we are now able to get reply because we have done it in the real-time mode. Now, we will see it in simulation mode. Go to the simulation mode and take a packet. Let this be the source computer and let this be the destination computer. Now, it is in progress. Click capture bar forward. The switch receives this packet. And first time communication, switch always broadcasts. But it is not going to be the case in the second time communication. And first time communication, the first packet. Because we are initiating this request from the first time. The first packet normally get failed. Now we will observe the second communication. This is the source and this is the destination. And it is in progress capture. Now switch will not do broadcasting because it has learned the MAC address. Now if you observe, this switch is forwarding the data. Now PC has got the packet. Now the reply is sent to the router. Now the router sent the data. And the final capture bar forward, it is successful. It has got acknowledgement. This communication is successful.